A reading from Psalm 119, verses 161 through 168. Sin and Shin. Princes persecute me without cause, but my heart stands in awe of your words. I rejoice at your word, like one who finds great spoil. I hate and abhor falsehood, but I love your law. 7 times a day I praise you for your just and righteous decrees. Great peace have those who love your law. Nothing can make them stumble. I hope for your salvation, O Lord, and I do your commandments. My soul keeps your testimonies. I love them exceedingly. I keep your precepts and testimonies, for all my ways are before you. In many and various ways, God spoke to his people of old by the prophets. But now, in these last days, he has spoken to us by his Son. Jesus was the one person, the only person in all of history who never broke the law. As he says, he didn't come to abolish the law, but he came to fulfill it all in our stead. He came to fulfill the human end of a covenantal agreement between God and humanity. Jesus fulfilled our end of the deal when we failed time after time after time. Jesus did this for Jews and for Gentiles alike. Jesus did this for the whole world. Jesus was the only human in history to fulfill every aspect of the law, and yet Jesus took the blame for every single sin as though they had been his own. He became sin, who knew no sin, so that we could become the righteousness of God, as Paul says in 2 Corinthians chapter 5. Jesus is, as the psalmist says, persecuted without cause, as the princes of this world persecute the King of Kings. And yet in him, even him, Jesus, who loves the law and has fulfilled the law perfectly, who's lived the perfectly righteous life, the only one who was not deserving of death, he rejoices in God's word. His heart stands in awe of what God has spoken. We see in him true faith. He hates and abhors falsehood. That is Satan's lie. Satan's lie that we can earn God's love and forgiveness. Satan's lie that if we feel we can't, that we have to live in shame and guilt. Satan's lie that what Jesus did was not enough, that we have to add to it in some way. But no, Jesus did this for us. He fulfilled the law perfectly, without any error. 100% pure righteousness. He did this because he wanted us to be forgiven. He did this to give us his righteousness. He did this because he wanted us to have life. He wanted to rescue us from the sin and the death that we had brought upon ourselves. He wanted us to have that life that God had always intended for us to have from the very beginning, so that now we would live in his righteousness, so that we would see our lives in a new way.